Hey, honey,
Yes, Barry?
let's get out of here.
Where are we going?
Where do we always go?
Fascina el viento, este ritmo de palmas, sin ti naturaleza, hasta encontrar la playa. Por eso grito al mundo, yo soy de Puerto Vallarta. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta.
Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. I'm your host, Barry Kessler, and I'm just so happy to be introducing you to my favorite vacation destination. Maybe it's even yours, and that's Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. The music you're listening to is performed by Alberto Perez, and Alberto is the owner of the Lapa Lapa group of restaurants here. Those are the Lapa Lapa, Puerto Vallarta's oldest restaurant on the famous Los Muertos Beach, and the El Dorado Restaurant Beach Club right next door. So you can enjoy that fantastic view of the Los Muertos Pier, all lit up at night in beautiful colors, or during the day in its grand splendor, for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, seated with your toes in the sand right at the water's edge. It's so romantic. It's so Puerto Vallarta, my friends. This week we're going to go to a hot new restaurant in Puerto Vallarta in the romantic zone. It's called Martini and Fuego, and you're going to meet Roberto Gonzales, who's the owner. Really interesting guy. But before we get to Roberto, let's see what's happening this week in Puerto Vallarta, the 23rd day of July, 2019. Well, it looks like the rainy season has finally arrived. In fact, the rain levels have surpassed last year's. 2018 has been surpassed by about 4 inches year to date. So yes, the drought is over here in Vallarta. The rain is flowing. Measurements were taken by Angela, who is the weather station lady up near Que Pasa, up in the Emiliano Zapata neighborhood. So thank you, Angela. Thanks for getting that information out to us. El Banquito, which is the smallest taqueria in Puerto Vallarta. You know it. It's a little closet over on Libertad. Our friend Tino Perez let me know that his place is going to be expanding. He's going to have Banquito Dos. Actually, the luncheria next door to him became available, and so he'll be opening up Banquito Dos right next door, right there on Libertad, just past where the buses turn and head up north out of town. I'll post pictures when he gets that restaurant all ready, but make sure you go over there when you're in town. Say hi to him. Check out those delicious tacos dorados that he makes. And good luck, Tino. Way to go. Finally came out of the closet. Wow. Never mind. The Ceviche and Aguachile Festival, the 8th edition, is coming up Sunday the 28th of July. So that is going to be taking place over in Lazaro Cardenas Park, as it always does. They're going to have around 30 combinations of ceviche and aguachile with shrimp and fish and tuna and oysters and octopus and much more. All of that will be prepared and presented by local restaurants. And this year they're going to have 10 that they have confirmed so far. And along with all that fish and seafood, there's going to be 3 different beer makers there, 3 breweries, Barrio Chico and Euro Cervezas from Guadalajara and Nervo from Tepic. They will all be here serving up suds. And Dan Rodriguez, he's going to be the mixologist. He'll be mixing up some craft cocktails using raicilla and mezcal and, of course, tequila. They're going to have a contest like they do every year where they'll choose the best recipe from the festival, and they'll do that by giving out small samples from 3 o'clock until 5 o'clock so that you can vote on what you like the best. The entrance fee is free, and the prices per tostada are going to start at around 25 pesos. And there's going to be music, but they haven't decided who's going to be playing just yet. So maybe next week I will remind you, I'll let you know if I can remember what band they're going to have. So anyway, thank you very much, Edgar Rivas. Thanks for putting on these events. So much fun. It gives us all something to do in the off season. So thank you, Edgar. Thanks so much. Let's see. This is interesting news. Puerto Vallarta's taxistas are going technical on us. The local Vallarta Taxi Trade Union has been working on something to counter Uber, but this time it isn't a protest. It's not a roadblock. It's not someone beating an Uber driver to a pulp. No, it's not that at all. Actually, it's an application for your phone. Yeah, it's called Hola Taxi or Taxi PVR Oficial. And here is all about it from Banderas News. Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, the Secretary General of Puerto Vallarta Taxi Driver Trade Union, Jaime Aguilar Meja, recently announced the development of a smartphone application that will connect drivers with people in need of a cab service. He said that this initiative is in the testing phase and that taxi drivers are now being trained in the use of the digital platform. Saying that it is just one part of a comprehensive program to improve service that is already well underway. He went on to say that upgrading was necessary to make adequate use of the technology, which when completed will not only benefit Taxi Driver Guild operating in Puerto Vallarta, but also make it easier for users to request transportation services. For more information and updates in Spanish, visit Hola Taxi on Facebook. The benefits of the taxis are regarding the price differences observed between the taxi service and the rideshare companies operating in Puerto Vallarta that offer similar services through digital programs, Meja said, and these companies continue to work irregularly since they don't have the concessions, and was very emphatic in pointing out the benefits that the taxis offer, including services provided by fully equipped recent model vehicles that meet all safety regulations and requirements. Drivers have been granted the concession by the Jalisco state government and are registered on the Taxi Drivers Union. All vehicles are easily identifiable through a unique number that provides passengers with better security. Rates are fixed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. He pointed out that almost 80% of vehicles in the taxi fleet have recently been renovated, which means most of the cars in circulation comply with all safety measures. Finally, Aguilar Mejia invited users to report any complaint or anomaly by calling 322-225-8633 during office hours. He stressed that when calling, it's important to have the number that was located on the rear doors of all taxis to identify the service provider that did not comply with the service protocol. So very, very interesting. I've got a link to that article in the Banderas News in the show notes. And I did go and actually put that app on my phone. It's ready to go when I get to Puerto Vallarta. And you can find it if you have an Android phone. Just go to your app store, and it's called Taxi PVR Oficial. Okay, I don't know about Apple or the iPhone because I don't have one, but that's what I can tell you if you're an Android user. All right, Salvador Estrada, our buddy, our friend of the show, the Candyman on the Malecon, who is also a marathoner. He's the guy that uses his special tricycle that he powers with his arms since he has no use of his legs and he's wheelchair bound. Anyway, if you've been a listener to the show, then you know Salvador Estrada. If you haven't, go back and listen to the episode with the Candyman. It's a very, very interesting story. Anyway, he's getting ready to take his Mexico City Marathon, and I'll read from an article online. It says, next August 25th, the annual running of the International Marathon of Mexico City will start at 6:45 in the morning. The competition will count on the participation of 30,000 runners from more than 60 countries worldwide. This year, the race will start in the Estadio Olímpico Universitario and will finish at the Zócalo, which is like the city center. It's a pretty cool place. If you've never been to Mexico City, got to check that out. It is one of the most important events in the world. It has reached gold category. The International Mexico City Telcel Marathon is the largest athletic event of national importance. Okay, but now listen, you guys. The Mexico City Marathon has not been without its issues and without its problems. This has nothing to do with Salvador, but I was reading about the marathons when I ran into these interesting articles. It seems that cheating is widespread in the Mexico City Marathon. For example, in 2017, more than 5,800 people were disqualified from the marathon after an investigation revealed that over 20% of the participants failed to complete the course. Of those disqualified, 1,296 of them posted times that would have qualified them for the Boston Marathon. Then last year, I'll read here. After last year's fiasco, the Mexico City Marathon race director Javier Carvalho claimed that they were taking steps to cut down on cheating. Last year, over 5,000 runners were disqualified for cutting the course, but it does not appear that the race did enough, if anything, to curtail cheating at the 2018 race. Despite his announcement that they would not be handing out medals on race day, well, that changed nothing. Pictures of runners with their medals are all over social media. Initial reports out of Mexico City claim that as many as 13,000 runners were suspected of cutting the course in order to claim their medal. Carvalho had hoped that the rates of cheating would fall in line with other major marathons. Clearly, that was not the case. This should not be unexpected, as there were no obvious steps implemented to stop the cheating. And it is not just regular Mexico City citizens, friends. It seems that Mexican politicians have shown a proclivity to marathon cheatery. For example, I'll read here. Jorge Zarate Medina and his wife, Ana Vanessa Vasquez, trotted into Estadio Olímpico Universitario after passing the cheering onlookers, spurring the 2017 Mexico City Marathon runners on. Husband and wife crossed the finish line together, sporting identical times in 3 hours, 24 minutes, and 25 seconds. It was so impressive. Vasquez even qualified to attend the 2018 Boston Marathon. There was one problem, though. Zarate and Vasquez had not run the whole race. In fact, far from it. Along the marathon course, electronic checkpoints were set up every 5 kilometers. As runners passed these markers, a chip in the official shirt handed to runners before the race logged their splits and automatically posted it to the official Mexico City Marathon app. Zarate and Vasquez did not log 7 checkpoints between the 5-kilometer and 30-kilometer markers. They reappeared at the 35-kilometer mark with matching times of 2 hours, 34 minutes, and 34 seconds, a pace of 4 minutes, 25 seconds per kilometer. Now, by comparison, the winner of the female division of the race, Peru's Gladys Teja, maintained a pace of 3 minutes, 42 seconds per kilometer. We lived the Mexico City Marathon to its fullest. Let's go to Oaxaca, Vasquez exclaimed in a Facebook post, since deleted. The couple, who had posted training pictures on Facebook prior to the race, was disqualified from the race when official results were announced on September 12th, a little more than 2 weeks after the marathon. In all, 5,806 runners, 1 in every 5 who began that race, were deemed ineligible. All the people who were disqualified from the race were found to have had crossed the finish line in a fraudulent manner, said Javier Carvalho, the race director for the Mexico City Marathon. Most cases we found was course cutting via skipping of checkpoints. Zarate, who is running for Mexico's Congress in the upcoming July elections, was singled out by media outlets in the aftermath of the race, just one of several incidents exposed in the days following the competition. And then I read about this one from 2006 involving a Mexican presidential candidate, no less. I am no marathon cheat, Mexican politician says. Dateline, Mexico City, Reuters, a former Mexican presidential candidate who was disqualified from the Berlin Marathon for cheating, says he is innocent and is blaming political mudslinging for the scandal. Roberto Madrazo, a veteran of 36 marathons who played up his running man credentials in the 2006 election campaign, said on Wednesday that he had always planned to run only part of the Berlin race last week. Sporting a bright red jacket, the 55-year-old politician was photographed with his arms aloft and beaming after he broke through the finish line in first place for his age group. But race organizers later stripped him of the title after finding that he did not run a 9-mile stretch of the course. The saga has riveted Mexico for several days, with Madrazo being widely ridiculed. Madrazo came third in the 2006 election, his campaign hurt by claims that he rigged his own victory in a state governor election earlier in his career. In a public letter, Madrazo said that he never claimed the age group title at the Berlin Marathon and blamed political rivals for trying to tarnish his image and scupper his plans for a marathon running foundation. It is political. By doing this, they are seeking to throw mud on a sporting activity that I have practiced for many years and on my new social project, Madrazo said. He said he'd always wanted to run the 5 most important marathons: Boston, New York, Chicago, London, and Berlin, and only the Berlin City was missing on his list, but he was carrying an injury. Of course, the Mexico City Marathon has not been the only venue to have cheating problems. No, not at all. In fact, most major marathon events do have their cheaters. And if you go back, of course, the most famous marathon cheater was Rosie Ruiz Vivas. She was born in 1953. She was declared the winner, the female category for the 84th Boston Marathon back in 1980, only to have her title stripped 8 days later after the race, when it was discovered that she had not run the entire course. She is believed to have jumped into the course about half-mile before the finish. Now let's see, was Rosie a Mexican? Well, no. No, actually, Rosie was not. She was born in Havana, Cuba. So there. See? Okay, anyway, if you see Salvador, if you're in town, drop him some cash for his marathon run. It's, there to, if you can give him some money, it's to help him, to help his family, of course, to make that big trip. He's got a big support team, big loving support team too. So help Salvador out when you see him, because that marathon's coming up pretty soon. Now, there's been a couple of developments regarding the dam on the Rio Horcones. Some of these developments are depressing, and some of them are good. Not quite sure which one is going to win here, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait till next week, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. So stay tuned. Let's get on with the interview, shall we? I love Puerto Vallarta. Can you tell? For me, Puerto Vallarta has always been about, well, number one, about the people. Number two, about the beauty of the place. And number three, the food. And this restaurant that I'm going to take you to, this is a real gem. The owner and chef is Roberto Gonzalez. Now, Roberto, as you're going to find out, has been in the food business his whole life. You're going to be amazed, totally amazed. I was floored at the experience that he's had. He's worked at some of the leading restaurants out there. These are places that you have heard of, okay? All of these things, all of these experience led him to where he is today. His restaurant's called Martini and Fuego. Now, I was sitting across the street from Martini and Fuego. I was having dinner with a couple of listeners, a couple of my friends, Cheryl and Jim from Indiana, and we were over at Adobe's restaurant. Great place, by the way, and if you haven't been there, you need to check that place out. Jim asked me if I had ever been over to Martini and Fuego and if I'd ever met or interviewed Roberto. And I said no, and he says, "Oh man, you got to go talk to Roberto. He's got a great story. You got to have him on your show." I've known him forever, and anyway, so he said, after dinner, I'm going to take you over there. I'm going to introduce you to him. And so, of course, I just love it when I get introduced to somebody that I don't know by somebody that they know really well. Makes it much easier for me to get that interview. So we sat down, had a couple of drinks, and immediately I really liked this guy. And I asked him if he'd share his story with you, and he said yes. So I came back the next afternoon before they opened for business, and I sat down and I had a talk with my new friend, now yours. And, well, let's go right now to Francisco y Madero, 260, in Colonia Emiliano Zapata, and let's meet Roberto Gonzales, the owner of Martini and Fuego, Puerto Vallarta. Roberto, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you, Barry.
Hey, listen, tell me a little bit about yourself. You're from Puerto Vallarta, aren't you?
Claro, of course, I'm from Puerto Vallarta. I'm originally born here. Actually, I was a few years away when I was 14 years old. I became an exchange student to Palm Springs, California.
Really?
So I did my high school in Palm Springs.
Out in the desert. You went from the jungle to the desert.
It's the same. I always say that Puerto Vallarta and Palm Springs, to me, they are like my cities.
Yeah.
That's my towns.
Fantastic. All right, cool. All right, so tell us about your experience here in Puerto Vallarta as far as, where you've worked. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, when I started working, first of all, I was probably 10 years old. I worked in a restaurant called Mexican Joy. It's in by Aquiles Cerdán and Lázaro Cárdenas. I was opening the doors from the taxis when the Americans used to come, and that was my first job. Starting and belongs to a restaurant. After that, I was open the doors and the cups. I became a dishwasher in that restaurant.
Same restaurant.
Yes.
How long did that last?
This is at least 39 years ago, mi amigo.
Yeah, so it's been a long time, and that restaurant is long gone.
No, it's still open somewhere in close to Gasolinera Solórzano and the end of Puerto Vallarta. Somewhere is still there.
Yeah, he's there somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, that's pretty cool. All right, so what happened after you left there?
After I left there, of course, I was doing my primary school, and I started working at El Set restaurant, located south to Miss Maloya. I was there, we call it a pluma, which a pluma is the one that helps the busboy, the guy in charge for giving just bread and butter to the busboy for the tables and service. And then I become a busboy there. I become a waiter. I become general manager, maitre d', and El Set too.
Wow, okay, and El Set, tell people about El Set. What's that like?
El Set, and those years, I'm talking about 25 years ago, was the most popular restaurant in Puerto Vallarta, where we used to have at least 400 or 500 dinners a night. It was so popular. I mean, we have a senior, I remember it was Paco Martin from Island Canarias, Spain. And Paco Martin was singing like a Julio Iglesias, mi amigo. He had a special terrace besides the dinner setting. It was packed every night. And the most popular restaurant in that time was Casablanca, the Red Onion, and Malecon. Casablanca, Malecon too. Carlos O'Brien's, of course. And I think Cuetos too. That's a seafood restaurant. Too. And Le Bistro, you know. After a few years later came Le Bistro, which was one of the most popular restaurants too.
Very cool. All right, so after you left El Set, where did you go?
Then I started working in Marriott Hotel. I work in Marriott Hotel as a waiter too there, and I worked sometimes in a few months in room service waiter because I only worked for a short time because I just was married. And I don't want to leave my wife too long.
Right, exactly.
And especially in Mexico, I don't like to work at night. In my country, I don't work at night. So I worked there at a restaurant called La Estancia. And I started learning about the standard of service there. Then I work in Bel Air Hotel. Bel Air used to belong to Bel Air, Los Angeles, Beverly Hills.
Really?
I remember they have a chapter special from the airport to Melake. Melake, they have another Bel Air. They connect each other. And how I speak English very well, the manager sent me over with the bellboy. And in Suburbans, when the people don't take the chapter, I was in the Suburban talking in English to the people so they don't get bored, you know. And I used to sleep in Bel Air, Melake, beautiful.
Yeah.
Premium places, premium. And then I started working at Café des Artistes, where was my beat growing, you know. Café des Artistes, I worked there for 8 years with the chef Thierry Blouet, which is my really good friend and one of my bosses for all my life. I consider it my master teacher. That's where we started learning about wine, service, like cigars, Coiba, Romeo, Julieta, Partagas, Churchill, and we started knowing about service 100% because he started paying people, onology, sommelier, to teach the waiters at that time. Café des Artistes was the boom at that moment, and it was coming very rich, wealthy people. We started selling like Chateau Margaux, Chateau Lafite, Vieux Clicquot, Dom Perignon, Cristal, and of course the most expensive one, which is Chateau Petrus, 95% Merlot, 5% Cabernet. So I think he was the master of us to teach I was a waiter there. I wasn't cooking.
Ah.
All this, I was a waiter,
Yeah.
and I became a manager. I moved to Grand Bella's Hotel.
Uh-huh.
When I was in Café des Artistes, then they opened Four Seasons. This is 21 years ago. And then they want the best waiters. You know, they select. So, of course, as a waiter, we look for the good money. And we went to Four Seasons, and we have a 2 months training before the bid opening. And we were learning about the standards of service, you know, and all the best things that a big company like Four Seasons teach to their employees. It was a very nice experience. Service, on serving good people, and serving the best of the best. But it wasn't a good place to work for money.
Oh, really?
And I came back to Café des Artistes.
And Thierry took you back.
Yes, and then my boss, of course, I was a good waiter.
Yeah.
So I came back with him, and then I quit again, and I went to, a few years later, I went to Grand Bella's Hotel, which is one of the best hotels in Nueva Vallarta. I remember that there used to stay always the president of Mexico, used to stay the president of Televisa, Jan Escarraga, always all the most important people of Mexico stayed there. It was an all-inclusive resort, but fine dining, the best. And I did that because I want to make a career as a manager. I was a manager at a restaurant called El Restaurant Azul, with capacity of at least 350 people.
Wow.
So I did take care of that place for almost a year. I was there when they invited me to become to La Jolla de Mismaloya.
I remember that.
And La Jolla was an excellent hotel, but it was the last years of the famous and glamorous hotel. It was dying, La Jolla de Mismaloya, when I started working there, and I didn't like. Actually, I only stayed 1 day in La Jolla de
Really?
Mismaloya as a manager.
Uh-huh.
And then I called back my manager at Grand Bella's. Robert, come over. What are you doing this? I went back to Grand Bella's again. And then from there, I did the big jump that was to Vista Grill. I worked for Vista Grill for 7 years as a manager, general manager.
Yes, sir.
And Vista Grill, at that moment, we used to have 3 restaurants belongs of the same owner, Alberto Perez, which owns Lapa Lapa by Olas Altas and Los Muertos Beach. And we opened another restaurant called Ticul. Ticul was a restaurant in Marina Vallarta, a fancy, beautiful restaurant. It didn't make it, only for 2-3 years. It died. But La Palapa is still there for 50 years. Vista Grill too still, and they moved to La Playa, to the beach, near to La Palapa. But before, Vista Grill used to be a lovely view. I guess one of the best view of Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah.
Like El Panorama has a lovely view. El Palomar de los Gonzales. And right now, a brand new house they make at Casa Isabel. It's a very nice view. So I worked for Vista Grill for 7 years and 2 years in La Palapa. So as a maitre d' and manager.
Excellent. Yeah. Alberto Perez. Yeah, so right now they have on the beach, they've got El Dorado and La Palapa.
Sí, they're the same owner. And they used to have El Ticul. So they used to have Ticul, La Palapa, and Vista Grill.
Yeah.
Now he owns El Dorado too, but
Yes.
they changed the name to Vista Grill.
Yes, but they changed it back.
To El Dorado, huh?
Yeah, they
you're
did.
right.
They did.
You're very informed, huh?
Listen, I'm friends with them.
Yeah.
All right, so, wow, okay, so I had no idea that we were going to be taking this big, long trip because you've done, like, a ton of stuff. you've worked at all kinds of restaurants and gotten all kinds of great training, and I guess that's kind of made way for what your next step was, yes?
Yeah, my next steps, of course, we have a dream in our life, everyone, I guess. And one of my dreams was to open my own restaurant with my own authenticity, you know. So then becomes Martini and Fuego. Well, before it was one and only in Miss Maloya, okay?
Okay.
It was a restaurant there where this guy said like that is one of my boss boy. He was a little child working with me over there already.
In Miss
And
Maloya.
Diego too. Diego worked at one and only in Miss Maloya. So I went there. It was a nice guy called Juan Peña. It's a very important people in Miss Maloya. He is a guy of tourists from the boat ships. And he worked in a really important house by Los Arcos in Miss Maloya. So I went to, then somebody recommended him to us for a job at one of the houses he has there in charge.
Yeah.
I went to him and I have an interview, and then he said, Robert, you know, I have a nice place where we can make a restaurant with all your experience you have. I don't have no money at all, you know, I just wanted to work. You know. Of course, I get married. I'm almost 30 years married.
Excellent.
So he invited me and gave me the opportunity to open his restaurant, and it was a good challenge, but I wasn't expecting at that moment already to own a restaurant. So I ran this restaurant with him as a partner. He was my partner for at least 3-4 months, and then he said, no, you go yourself, you pay me. So I have mostly all the equipment there. It was his, and I keep the place for 2 years. Before the 2 years, I have another partner. His name is Scott Monson. He's from San Diego. He was a general manager of timeshare in Garza Blanca. So he used to come to my restaurant in Miss Maloya and love my food. And I make one special dinner for his company. 100 people I serve for their posada on Christmas. They love it and say, Robert. He was a really wealthy guy and nice guy, want to do an experience. So he wants to help me, and I don't have no choice to somebody help me.
Yeah.
So then he said, I will help you to pay you everything, but we have to change the name. And there he said, we're going to put them Fuego Martini. He likes the rides, motorcycles, so he was like a kind of rock guy, you know. I mean, the name didn't have nothing to do with my food, but I didn't have no choice. And
so you didn't pick the name, your
my
friend
partner,
picked the name.
Yeah, picked the name, and Fuego Martini.
And Fuego Martini, okay, so that...
It's different.
It's different.
Because right here is Martini and Fuego.
Right.
So we opened it there in Fuego Martini for the last year. And it wasn't a good time because, you know, high season is low season in Puerto Vallarta. I have to say that it's true.
Yeah.
And Miss Maloya is a village away from everybody. So you have a few houses there where your clients used to come in high season too. And then it was over,
and
nothing.
It was very quiet.
You know? I used to sell pizzas over there. Micheladas to go with shrimp and all that. So I tried to survive one way.
Yeah.
So I decided to move in downtown, which is I want to be in the real place where it's the people.
Right, where people actually walk past your place.
And I found this place. It was very, very ugly. I make it so beautiful, you know, and how I can, getting money. I lose a land to keep this place. I lose my car. I owe like 400,000 or 500,000 pesos to all my friends. And I've been paying. I still owe a little bit, but I still paying everybody, thanks God. My mom, my sister, everybody helped me to keep open this place. So we put this one Martini and Fuego. And Miss Maloya, we become number one supervisor too. I was number one supervisor in Miss Maloya. And in this place, in 3 years I've been here, I've been 2 years in a row as number one Martini and Fuego.
Wow.
Over 900 restaurants. So it was something that really made me proud of my people and the way I've been doing. Okay. So I decided to start cooking. And I was cooking all my life, always for my family, my brothers, my birthdays. It was one of the things that I used to make a big parties at my house. All my guests mostly were waiters and cooks, and of course my family from my neighbor. But my parties was all night. I used to cook them mussels, arrachera, zarandeado, crab, shrimp, double sauce. So I was cooking a lots of food for them. They always said, Robert, why are you cooking? Come over. No. I was thanks them to be my friend, and I was cooking for them.
Yeah.
So until I cook everything, then I sit with my bottle of scotch, and then I start enjoying the party with them. And it was very, very nice, you know. All the waiters have to come to work. Let's say at Vista Grill. It was Vista Grill, La Palapa, or whatever it was. It was good times. I had money at that moment, so I can make good parties. And, I started cooking here. My mom was a cook, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So the best skills I got it from my mom. And, of course, all these years around, I worked with chefs like Claudio Marras from Chile, Gerard Dupont and Café Artis. I worked for Dolly, the chef Argentine from Argentina. I worked with Emil Minet, is a guy from Bulgaria. He was in Dubai, and Chileno Claudio Marras in Dubai. I worked with Glenn and Ashley from Four Seasons. Glenn is a Britannic guy. I guess right now, the last thing I hear from him, he was the chef executive of Four Seasons, Beverly Hills, Los Angeles.
Nice.
I don't know if he's still there, but... and I worked with so many chefs all over the world, especially in Café Artis, where every year they have the Festival Gourmet.
Yeah.
And every year comes different chefs all over the world, so we have to work and check the new menus, the new eatings, It was a very nice experience that I learned. Then I did my personal Festival Gourmet participation with Vista Grill and Palapa, and so I take care of the chef personally.
Yeah.
And translate everything in Spanish and English. It was a
That's a big deal.
big hard work. I don't want to say another word, but hard work.
Yeah.
And I have the experience working on all this. So all the experience that I get from everyone, I put it on my restaurant.
Yeah.
And I did everything by myself. Even the mussels that I make here, I can say easily. I check my chef Thierry Blouet from Café Artis. I learned from him how to make the mussels. And then I put my own touch differently. But Thierry Blouet was here 15 days ago. He was so proud of the restaurant. He never thought that it was my restaurant. And we have a really great time with him as a master. Very humility. That's the difference, of the big people. The humility is the bigger you are.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Well, yeah. I saw him the other day with his parents, actually. That was very sweet. Okay, so tell me about your menu here. What is it like? What are people going to expect when they come to your restaurant?
When the people come to my restaurant, the first thing they're going to expect, everything is fresh from the sea. We have from the yellowfin tuna steak to red snapper, whole red snapper fillet, mahi-mahis. Sometimes, my dad, we have a little boat. My dad go fishing every day. He got grouper, he got bacalao, he got castel, tuna. It's on the menu. For sure will be in the restaurant. The first thing my dad brings to me. And I go with him. Once a week, I go with him.
Do you? Yeah.
So I catch myself.
Yeah.
The fish and bring here.
Now, I saw a picture of you spearfishing. So you scuba dive and do that? Or do you just free dive and do that?
Yeah, I always don't like to take tanks because I say I will take advantage of the fish. That's why I snorkel only.
Okay, so you're making a sport of it, right?
Yes, it's my whole sport. Since I was a kid, we used to catch prawns from the river Rio Quale, big prawns with big pinchers. We used to have a mass flashlights. We go to the river, to the ocean, when we were childs, catching lobster, sea bass, red snapper. So when you come to the restaurant, you expect the freshest seafood. Okay?
No kidding, yeah.
Lobster, fish, shrimp, steaks.
Caught by Roberto's dad. Think about that.
Mostly, 90%.
A lot of it, yeah?
And me, and sometimes I go at night and catch lobster. So that's why I have a good prices for lobster, guys. You can come anytime, and I guess it's the best deal all over around Puerto Vallarta.
Excellent. God, that's great to know. And I see you do serve a lot of lobster here.
Yeah, at least we sell 10 pounds of lobster a night.
Yeah.
At least.
At least, right.
Yeah, so we have to be fresh. That's the thing. I don't have, my restaurant is small. So I don't have a big storage to buy or cash a lot. Just enough to keep the team fresh. That's the most important thing.
How many people can you seat in this restaurant?
At least 36 people.
36.
Okay,
And
40 people.
Do you take reservations or?
Yeah, we do. High season, we'd really recommend to call to make reservation because there is no space at all.
Yeah.
From October to April, it's full. It's even people, they have to call at least 1 week before to get a place because it's a small place, you know, and it's really good.
And it's good, yeah. And people want to come here and check it out because, they read the reviews on TripAdvisor or they hear it from friends, and yeah, they're lining up at your door.
I try to grow either the restaurant, like put in air condition, make better the kitchen. I have my people, they are waiters. They've been working in the best restaurant too.
Yeah.
They're good waiters. And the important thing mostly are my family. Both of the waiters right now are my nephews. One of my brothers is a waiter too. He's not a waiter. He's over 50 years, but he learned a lot.
Yeah.
And he has a very nice spirit to serve, so we teach him to become a good waiter. That's the best boy.
He's great.
My brother, my cashier is a niece. Then I have my son, of course. I have 2 sons. One of my sons is here. He comes and helps me in the kitchen and the service and the cashier. So this is a family business. Another thing that if you come to a restaurant in Martini Fuego, Puerto Vallarta, you will see that you are helping a local people, born and raised here in Puerto Vallarta. 100% pata salada, mi amigo.
Yeah, all right. All right, so what's the most popular dish in your restaurant?
Right now, the most popular used to be the tuna, yellowfin tuna steak. Where we make some fine herbs special with plain olive oil, garlic, sesame, and spices, very nice. And we marinate this mostly in everything, okay? Our tuna, we put just fresh pepper and salt with sear outside, red inside completely, with some little vegetable like peppers, onion, tomato, zucchinis, mushrooms, very fresh with fine herbs. Grill it too. Then we put the tuna on top with a red wine balsamic reduction. Really, really good. You will love it. I have some friends from Canada. They used to bring me balsamic reduction 10 years old. So I mix it with my balsamic local. So it's a special taste.
Yeah.
This was the number one, but now it became the number one Real Vallarta dish.
Uh-huh.
Real Vallarta comes from my soccer team when I used to play soccer.
Okay.
I used to call Real Vallarta from Real Madrid. My popular
sure.
Hugo Sanchez. I was Hugo Sanchez when I was younger. So I say I will make a dish that belongs to my city, which is seafood. Clams, shrimp, scallops, fish, and lobster, of course. So Diego and Arturo, which is my new waiters, my nephews, they make so much popular this dish that at night we'll sell at least, if we have 12, 14 people, at least we sell 8 to 9 Real Vallarta with lobster.
Yeah.
And they make another platter very special, very popular. They call the Plato Fiesta, was the platter holiday of seafood. That comes tuna, lobster, arrachera, flank steak, coconut shrimp, rubber shrimp, wrapped with bacon and cheese. The Real Vallarta, all the mussels and clams, and the ribs. Our rib soup we make here is really, really good. Okay?
Really? All right.
We make
So it's
good
not
food.
all seafood around here.
No, we have, I shame to the steaks right now to use Angus Premium Ribeye Steak.
Wow.
And we have flank steak, which is very tender. And we have Mexican platter, with flank steak, Mexican platter with chile relleno, enchilada, guacamole, rice and beans, and of course flank steak. We have on the steaks, we have the fajitas, beef fajitas. We have shrimp fajitas. We have all mixed fajitas too with seafood. So we have some combination. We have the clam and chowder. I recommend if you come to Puerto Vallarta, try the clam and chowder soup. It's fantastic. I was in San Francisco, and I ate the clam and chowder there, which is really good. Mm-hmm. And I said, I have to do something else. So I had shrimp. Oh. And this one of the people really order mussels for appetizer or the clam and chowder. They will love it, okay?
Excellent.
With the tuna, we start doing sashimis. Yellowfin sashimi is, raw fish with some soy sauce, chile, onion, arugula, balsamic. You will love it, okay? It's local and fresh, too. And one of the things in my restaurant, too, I always like to give, offer something from the house. If you don't order an appetizer, We send a Caesar salad on the house, homemade dressing, okay? And we have the tortilla soup. Now they're choosing tortilla soup to give away.
No.
Because sometimes people are vegetarian and the Caesar salad has anchovy, of course.
Right.
So we offer them little small tortilla soup. Mm-hmm. At the end, we give some dessert, make homemade too. I have a pastry chef that used to work for me in Vista Grill and Martini and Fuego, Miss Maloya. He's still working with me, so we make a little kind of a little tasting dessert at the end for the people on the house too, and my homemade tequila. Okay, at the end, that is on the house. I'm telling the people that don't know, but it's our how you say sello. It's
our like gift to you, right? Our
guarantee.
It's a guarantee that you're gonna.
Of course, another thing, if you don't like any dish at all, no charge, whatever it is, because sometimes people don't like. Sometimes we don't cover their expectations, and I understand. We try to do our best, but when some things don't like to the people, whatever it is, lobster, shrimp, steaks, no charge at all.
Wow.
It's on the house.
Yeah. That's actually a very good. It's a good idea. It keeps people coming back, and they don't say bad things about you, which is even better,
Yeah, I first of all apologize. I had a really bad review about 2 months ago, and the guy say I never apologize, and I was like, come on, that's the first thing I do. I'm here.
Yeah.
If I'm not charging you this, and if I'm not doing this because I feel embarrassed, and I invite you to come back, and I apologized like 3 times, and he wrote in TripAdvisor like, ooh.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of people. The only reason they go on that thing is just to have, to have at it. For some reason, that's fun for them.
Yeah.
It's crazy. All right. How about your bar? Tell us about your bar. You said you have your homemade tequila. What's with that?
Yeah. Okay. There was a party, 15 years old, and niece, and they always in Puerto Vallarta when they have parties, 15 years old, a wedding, they buy a lots of tequila from Tequila, Jalisco. So this was left, and this
from this quinceañera.
This cousin gave it to me, and I tasted it. It was really good. So what I did, I made with Don Julio, I make with 1800 gold tequila. I have a pair, okay? I have a pair there, and I mix the tequila. And it has a nice blend, very smooth.
Yeah.
Okay? And I always say it's a homemade tequila. Okay. From that on, the people I see that they really like it, then I went personal to Tequila Jalisco and choose my own tequila in a special place over there.
Uh-huh.
So I bring tequilas every 4 months, every 2 months, and I mix tequila reposado from Tequila Jalisco with the tequilas already made here, traditional.
Mm-hmm.
So I put it in the house. I've been selling those bottles too. People like it. No problem. We make. And Carlos, the bartender, he worked at Cafe Artis, at Le Bistro. I used to have another bartender called Marcelo. He works too in the best restaurant. So bartenders, when you order a martini, I don't worry, because they make really good martinis.
Yeah.
Or the special of the house we call Arugula Martini, which is made with fresh arugula letters. Okay.
Wow.
They have the opportunity. We do have another special of the house is the Margarita passion fruit homemade. Passion fruit is local fruit. Okay, we'll cut it. Sometimes I cut it. I go and I check trips and I cut it. Or they come to my house and my wife, they sell the neighbors,
Yeah.
So I make even all the Robert shrimp wrapped with bacon and cheese. It's a passion fruit sauce there.
Nice.
So we make margaritas, passion fruit, really good, specialty of the house. And of course the martini too. Now Diego and Arturo, which is the waiter, they are Arturo is bringing his wife is from it's called Navidad, it's by Talpa, very cool, and they're bringing raicilla. So now they're making martini of raicillas. Recommend, which is really good. I taste it because I don't like to sell raicilla because they used to call moonshine and the process of to do raicilla before.
Yeah.
They didn't separate the alcohol ethylic, which is the one that goes to make the pain, to the good alcohol, So everything they used to make in the ranch. So that's why it becomes a little dangerous when you drink too much. And then next day it's all hand over. Well, now they changed the way to make raicilla. They take care of the process. Mm-hmm. Then I serve raicilla in my restaurant. Otherwise, I won't say it. If it's too wild,
Yeah, you don't want to. Yeah, you don't want to mess with your clients.
I
right?
don't want they lose.
You don't want them to take off their clothes and dance on the table. So yeah,
and we set up the tables, as you can see, with table clocks traditionals that my mom and my grandma used to make, and my mom passed away, so my grandmom, so we just have a few. My mom doesn't make anymore. Just start doing like that for my mom and grandma. Now I'm buying from an old lady that comes close to Guadalajara. They have a little ranch. So every 2 months she comes.
Yeah.
And I buy for her. But this is a ranch where they make. Actually, they just bring me 2 of the table clocks over there. And it costs like 3,000 pesos.
Wow, yeah. Well, they're beautiful. They're beautiful.
But this is an old lady, and she gets me credit. So,
How about that? Yeah, you better look out, though, if she comes knocking on your door looking for that. These old ladies can be tough. Right?
No, this is a lovely. I have to write down that I'm paying because she doesn't write nothing. And I say, no, we have a record for her.
Yeah, we need to keep records for you, yeah. Wow, yeah. So you also told me that you made the tables, that a lot of this stuff was made by your family. Yeah.
So all the paints around the restaurant is my wife.
Your wife paints? These are beautiful paintings. These are from your wife.
She makes all that paint, and she haven't make more. I say, only make those. And then people wants to buy it, and I don't want to sell it because it belongs to... But I pay to my wife,
Okay, I hope you did. Make her, make her happy. Keep her happy. That's really, really important.
Most of the families involved in the restaurant, my wife too, and my sister-in-law, they come in the morning, and my sister-in-law take care of the dining, as you can see, already clean. And they could see my wife comes and make a new setup. Women are more specific in cleaning and all that, so they become. That's why the place always is very clean every day. It's
beautiful. This is a really lovely place. All right, let's leave Martini and Fuego for just a minute, and let's go out to Puerto Vallarta because you are Pata Salada, so you're a guy I want to talk to. Now, this is a dinner place, so we're not going to talk about dinner places, but I'm going to ask you about breakfasts and lunch places. So your favorite place to have breakfast, what would that be?
Okay, my favorite place for breakfast, normally I like to try the difference of the Vallarta, but they have one right here in PTL. They have everything fresh, homemade tortillas. They serve you rompope, they serve you hokoki, they serve you on the house too, and they make you like being in the ranch, making the tortillas and chilaquiles, eggs.
Now, where is this place? Is it near the center, or is it near the church?
Yeah, near the center. Yeah, near the church, PTL. Yes, 2 blocks left, right in the middle. It's really good.
Okay.
Here in Puerto Vallarta, I used to like a lot Freddy's Tucan. Okay, not right now, but it was really good.
Yeah.
Okay, I've been there. It's okay. It's a good place. Very popular, but it's okay.
Right.
I like more Memo's Pancake House. Excellent for breakfast. Muy bueno. Or Café de Olla. You can go to Café de Olla too.
Sure.
Breakfast.
Yeah.
Lunch. Well, now that I am a restaurant, I go to another place. But I think I like to go to small places, Italian mostly. I like Italian a lot. And Nana Dulce Vita.
Yeah.
But there are a few places here very nice. Really good.
Yeah, it's amazing. You would think that this is Italy, and you walk down the street, and there's all kinds of Italian places, pizza places and Italian places all of a sudden all around town. If you were going to leave town for just one day and come back the same day, where would you go?
Well, if I go with my family, normally on day off, Thursdays, my wife is the one that chooses to go even from Mascota to Sayulita to Bucerias to Punta de Mita.
Mm-hmm.
And she likes to go to La Estancia. It's about 30 kilometers from here, from Las Palmas.
Uh-huh.
It's up in the ranch too, so they have a very nice... First, the trip, it's very beautiful and very cool. And they have a good restaurant for breakfast and lunch, okay? We go there. The second place I like to go is Bucerias. There's an Italian restaurant called Toscana Mia. The owner is Vincenzo Napolitano, my really good friend. He makes, not because he's my friend, we work together, but he makes, his cuisine was owned by his parents. Mom and dad used to cook. They hired another people, so I've been having like 17 years going there. Now Vincenzo is in charge, and everything you go in, they have always specials. I like more like sashimi, the carpaccios, the cold meats, and the pastas, and the pizzas. He makes everything really. My wife and my sons are favorite place, and not because my friend, because the quality of the food. You know, it's really, really good. You have the opportunity to Bucerias, go to Toscana Mia. You will love it.
Where exactly in Bucerias is it? Do you know?
It's Bucerias. You hit Bucerias the first light, and then the second light on the left side, right in the corner. It's a small place like mine, and but it's authentic Italian cuisine. Recommend you.
Beautiful. All right. Well, all right. When you're in Bucerias, now you know where to go. If you were going to go and leave town for 3 days, long weekend or whatever, where would you go?
Tequila, Jalisco, mi amigo.
3 days in Tequila. All right. I want to see what you look like, Roberto, after 3 days in Tequila. Okay.
It's lovely. It's, you know, one of the things that I really enjoy is to see people from the native become successful. Tequila has excellent restaurants, has good deals of tequilas.
Yeah.
And it's a nice town. They give you tours, all the, you know. I used to be tequila drinker straight, but I become a little, my liver.
We get older.
And tequila, and I like to, going north to Mascota, Talpa, very nice.
Yeah.
You go north, you go to El Tuito, Tegua, it's very nice to say, ooh. I like fishing, so that's why I love over there.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's where that's all going on. And the oysters, of course.
Oh, we catch oyster a lot, mi amigo. Oyster, shrimp, octopus, lobster, everything is here. We catch it. I will take you one day, so you will eat good oyster with me.
Excellent.
Fresh.
All right, very good. If you had a word of advice to a first-time visitor to Puerto Vallarta, what would it be?
The place that to know always is the mercados, okay? Mercado Municipal. They have food, they have the groceries, they have souvenirs. So Mercado Rio Cuale is really good. Mm-hmm. Mercado Emiliano Zapata is very nice too. Yeah. And that's the where I go, you know, and check when my first day, start looking and knowing the local people. And then from there, of course, somebody will say, go to this restaurant or go to this. I guess it's one of the best places to go and check and get
the ideas and hear the ideas, and that's to go to the Mercado. And we have two of them here in Puerto Vallarta itself, and like you said, the Real Cuale and the one on Lazaro Cardenas.
See, you know the address, mi amigo, very well.
Hey, well, you know. I know that Mexicans, they do it a different way. They do it by landmarks. They don't do it by the streets, you know. It's next to the muffler store or whatever.
This is a guamuchil tree or mango tree. Okay, it's right in front. You know, honestly, Puerto Vallarta local people, we don't name our streets name. We use it by the church, by the bank.
Exactly.
It's very bad because I feel embarrassed. Canadian, Europe people, and they say, "Oh, this is Francisco Madero," and then you don't know it. That's Cardenas.
Yeah.
But that's the way. Still. The way it's a ranch is a small town.
Yeah.
We used to know everyone everywhere. So.
All right, so let's go back to Martini and Fuego, and let's tell people how we find your place.
Okay, I'm located in Francisco Madero, 260. I am right in, we can say, like the Romantic Song, close by to Romantic Song. I don't want to say the name of the restaurant in front of me, but I will say I'm in front of Adobe's restaurant. It's a really good Mexican restaurant. Yeah, he's a chef local too. He grow here. It's a nice. I like to help people that nice. I don't care wherever they are.
Yeah.
But if they are nice, Robert will help you.
Exactly. So, you're on Facebook?
We're on Facebook. We're on TripAdvisor. We're on Angel. We are in a few page. I don't normally. I have never pay advertise. Okay. I have my friend, and is the one to make me the menus, and he makes my page, and I pay him more in food to his wife and him.
Yeah.
He loves come here. He feel very happy where we are. He's the one that answers and TripAdvisor the reviews too. Sometimes we have to answer, and then the people know my opinion too.
Yeah.
So he's a nice guy, and we are very. You can find us very easy and Google it too. Or actually, we're planning to move. Okay, boss.
Are you really? Tell me about it.
We hope. I'm not sure, but we hope this year, or at least the next, to move from here because we are very small. You know,
you're getting a little growing.
And I have a lot of demand. Right here, I've been already 3 years. I'm going to move 4 years.
Yeah.
So my place is only 12 tables. Okay. And the good thing, I make the tables very big, so I can make 6 people right here easy. I can make 2 tables, 10 to 12 people.
Yeah.
But it's lots of people high season that I have to say no, thank you, no. They get mad. And I guess if I open a little bigger, I have more opportunity to serve more people, and of course to help myself too.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt, right?
It will be nice. It will be nice. Yeah.
Do you have a place picked out yet?
There is a place in Tequila. I'm looking for a place close by to my restaurant.
Sure.
So people don't get confused.
Right. Don't freak out and go, where's my favorite restaurant?
Yeah. And I have really good clients, friends, that they come at least once a week when they're here 2-3 months. And I know they will follow me. Of course, I'm in TripAdvisor right now. I guess I'm number 2 in TripAdvisor right now, which is not that bad.
No.
Sometimes I don't like to be number 1, number 2, number 3.
Everybody's shooting for you when you're all up there, yeah.
I don't, honestly, because they think everything is gold here, okay?
Right.
So I say I'm not a gold coin, you know. I take my mistakes. That's why I don't charge. But that's why I don't like to become number 1, you know, because there's people coming and
they're gunning for you. That's what happens when you become number 1. Everybody has something to say about that.
Something I really warranty is that you will receive the best service from a nice feeling people, local.
Yeah. Okay, well that's great. I'm going to have pictures of Roberto. I'm going to have pictures of his restaurant, and I'm going to actually have a map that will bring you right to the front door of Martini and Fuego. And when you do make that move, you'll let me know so I can tell my audience, and that way they'll know what to expect and where to find you.
Yeah, I will let you know right away, and I just want to thank you, all the people who's listening to this nice audio, this lovely man helping me, and looking forward to love to come to Martini and Fuego.
All right. Roberto, thank you, my friend. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Okay. Gracias.
Wow. What a resume, right? I mean, this guy, he has worked in a cavalcade of the finest restaurants in Puerto Vallarta. Wow. Incredible. Anyway, I'm going to keep in touch with Roberto. I'll let you know about developments regarding him maybe expanding, moving to a bigger location. We'll find out. But you know what? His food, you guys, his food is so good. You will not be disappointed. There's something for everybody. And the drinks. Man, thank you, Roberto. Wonderful, wonderful restaurant. I have pictures in the show notes. I've got a map. It'll take you right to the front door. I got links to the website, Facebook page, the whole 9 yards. You can find them at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. right here in the blog post for this particular episode. All right? Okay, well, that should do it for this week. Next week, stay tuned for more on-the-ground reports from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, with travel tips, great restaurant and excursion ideas, and more. But until then, remember this is an interactive show where I depend on your questions and your suggestions about all things Puerto Vallarta. If you think of something that I should be talking about, then you need to reach out to me and click on that Contact Us tab and send us a message. Remember, if you're considering booking any type of tour while you're in Puerto Vallarta, you must go to vallartainfo.com, that's JR's website, and reserve your tour through him. right from his website. Remember, it's a value-for-value proposition, my friends. His experience and on-the-ground knowledge of everything Puerto Vallarta in exchange for your making a purchase of a tour that you do anyway. You're just doing it through him as a way of saying thank you. Thanks, JR, for being our guide. It costs no more than if you're going to use someone else, so do it, really. And when you do take one of those tours, email me, please, about your experiences. Maybe you can come on board and share with others what you liked or didn't like about the tour. Again, contact me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending off a message. And don't forget, he has his maps, his DIY tours, his revitalized happy hour board, and more on this beautiful new website. So check it out. I have links to all of those in the show notes. And once again, if you like this podcast, please take the time and subscribe and give me a good review on iTunes if you will. That way we can get the word out to more and more people about the magic of this place, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Remember, I made it easy for you to do just that with each episode I create. But if you haven't been to my website, you really need to go have a look there. I have links to the places that we talk about, interesting pictures, and more right there in the blog posts and in the show notes for each and every episode that I create. So check them out for sure if you haven't already, all right? All right. Thank you, Roberto Gonzalez from Martini and Fuego. Add this restaurant to your list of don't miss places the next time you're in paradise. His food, it's all the notes. It's a full-on orchestra, folks, right there, just right in your mouth, okay? Go there. It is so good. And hey, thanks to all of you for listening all the way through this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. This is Barry Kessler signing off with a wish for all of you to slow down, be kind, and live the Vallarta lifestyle. Nos vemos, amigos.
Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de amor junto al mar. Solo camino, perno por la playa, me encuentro junto al río, cuando todo está en calma, pronto cae la noche, brillas Puerto Vallarta, samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar, samba de Puerto Vallarta.